Oh, it's recording. Duh, I hit the record button and I didn't realize it was recording. Anyways, so I saw Weapons and I have to revisit the ranking I gave it. Now, this happens not very rarely, but most of the time, I watch a movie and I'm like, oh, this is the ranking I'd give it. With Weapons, I have to change my mind. Coming out of the theater, I gave it a 6.8, and this was my thought process on it. And I'll give you, how I really feel about it in a second. But this is my thought process on it is I don't think it was an 8. Like, it wasn't an 8 out of 10. I don't think it's 6 out of 10 is too low. So I went somewhere around 6.8 because I didn't want to like average it out and give it a 7, because I feel like that's what you do when you're like undecided about a movie. It's like, oh, it's a 7 out of 10, good or bad. After watching it and thinking about it, I got to bump up the score just a little bit, and I'll get to all the reasons why right now. So Weapons is directed by Zach Cregger, who brought us Barbarian. Now, Weapons stars Julia Garner, who plays Justine, I believe, and Josh Brolin, who plays father. His name is Archer, and this young actor whose name's Carrie Christopher, who plays the sole surviving kid, Alex, of this classroom. Now, at it's one day at 2:17 a.m., all the kids just leave their house in this one classroom, and that's Justine's classroom. And so, they don't. The beginning of this movie is kind of voiced over, and they don't show you really the incident like in a whole. It's kind of seen over like door cam footage, so you don't really know what happens, and that plays into the ending of the movie, obviously. So I'm not gonna give anything away when it comes to that. I'm not a big fan of like voiceovers explaining things, but I think they did a pretty good job with this. Now I will say the acting in this movie was really good. I think everyone's role, I don't want to go through everyone's POV because I think there's like 5 or 6 characters that we follow, but I'm gonna just talk about Josh Brolin, Julia Gardner, and Carrie Christopher's characters. So Justine is the teacher of this classroom, and before they even get into any of that, you could see she has some issues. You could see, she has some problems in her life, as we all do. But then this happens, and that kind of just compounds the issues in her life, and just the parents going to her and asking why, like, how come your classroom? And they're blaming her for the disappearance of their children, and you get that like mob mentality but they need someone to blame, and so she is their teacher, and she's the only one who can really, they can look at it and be like, well, what did you do? How is this? They were all in your classroom. This is your fault somehow, and we're going to blame you and point our aggression and anger and sadness and hatred. We're going to aim that at you. And so I think she did a really good job of kind of taking that weight and showing how it would be if that happened, and what you would go through. Like, you just the overall acting, how she played this role, I think she did a really good job. Obviously it's directing too, but spiral down this character, and not only have to deal with her personal life, but then this that was thrown upon her, whether it's merited or not. It's upon her, and she doesn't understand why. She also has the questions as why, and she even says it very early in the movie. It's like, I love these kids too, and obviously they're parents, so they're you don't love them as much as we love them, but she does have a love for these children. And Josh Brolin, he kind of is the standout of the parents, because it would be difficult to follow all the, I think it was like 17 kids or 15 kids, something like that, where they disappeared and there was one sole kid left. Josh Brolin is kind of the standout of the parents, who is, he's there doing asking questions, and kind of the voice of the parents saying, why you, why your class, what did you do with our kids, what did you say to our kids, why would our kids just up and leave for no reason? Him being that frustrated and concerned parent, and I really did like that. I thought it came off really good. One thing I will say, and this will be a negative thing, he does some stuff in this movie where it's just like, I'm thinking like, well, wouldn't the police do that? Like, why aren't the police doing this? Why is it on him? Like, there's nothing to do with his character. It's just like, oh, the plot of the movie, I would be like, well, why aren't the police doing what he's doing? If he's smart enough to figure this out, why aren't the police smart enough to kind of do this? The actor who plays Alex, I think does an excellent job of his role as this child who he's the only one left. He's being questioned by everyone. Everyone wants to talk to him. Obviously, all the parents, they want to know, like, well, what happened? Well, was there anything? Like, did anyone say anything to all you guys? Or what did the teacher say to you guys? And I think he does a really good job of kind of being this weight of the town is put upon him to want to know what happened to their children. So the scares in this movie, there are a few jump scares. Honestly, okay, so there are a few jump scares. I was just like, I feel like those are just thrown in there just to, I don't know, just to keep us awake because they weren't really needed. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some scary moments in this movie, and there are some scary scenes, and there are very, very graphic scenes and just horror scenes. But there are some jump scares where I was just kind of like, was that needed? But their tactics that they use, super eerie, super creepy. And no spoilers, I'm just gonna say there's a door in this movie. You're far away from the door, but this door opens and closes. Creepiest thing. Real, that stuff gets me. So some of the standout negative things to me is like there's a scene where a lot of stuff's going on in one room and no one hears it in the next room, or in the hallway next to them. So I'm just like, well, like that doesn't make sense. But I think the story and the reason, for me, I kind of lost that upsetness of it because I was like, well, this story is so good, I'm gonna kind of let that slide. So I guess if you got a good story, you let certain things slide when it comes to the negative. But I wouldn't say any characters in here are dumb. Just dumb things happen where I'm just like why would you do that? Or why would you go in there? Or why would you do that alone? Or why wouldn't you say something? Or this doesn't make sense. So there are a couple little gripes like that I have, but overall, I really enjoyed this movie. And I had it at a 6.8 when I came out of the theater, and I just kind of, was like, this is how I feel about the movie. With everything I've been thinking about and just talking to myself about, I want to say I got to give it like a 7.7. It's grown on me, and I will say this. So this is the last thing I'll say. It's a weird thing. The ending of this movie, again, no spoilers. The ending of this movie was enjoyable, but also a little bit of a letdown. And I don't mean that it sounds negative when you say letdown, but I don't mean that in the negative way. It's just like I was expecting more from it. I was expecting more to the ending, but that does not take away the fact that I thoroughly enjoyed the ending. I thought the ending was amazing. So, and say, get off the fence and check it out. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you have not subscribed to On the Fence Movie Reviews, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate everyone who's come over and followed us. Thank you so much. We have an Instagram, On the Fence Movie Reviews, where I do my more quick reaction videos, and I try to get those out a little bit before the actual movie review comes out. But with saying all that, thank you for watching this video, and remember, we will catch you on the fence.